racists and sexists. What do white people get out of years and years and years of giving up our lives to protect black people? We get told it's our fault and we need to go to the back of the bus. Black people are highly protected in this country. Highly protected. There ain't no protections for homeless people. You know, all the things that I hear black folks complaining about with the BLM thing. They complain that white people do this and white people do that. Really? Which white people? And then those very same people do those things to the homeless. Oh, it's okay to do it to the homeless. It's wrong to do it to black people, but it's okay to do it to homeless. Meanwhile, you're not showing me any evidence that any of these crimes were committed against you because you were black. Every fucking crack dealer in Compton wants to sell the narrative he was targeted for the color of his skin. Shit, look at Sammy Leon Lawrence IV, Zaid Atkinson, Michelle Rodriguez. All three of them were targeted because of homelessness. That's right. Leon Lawrence IV was homeless. No, he wasn't. He was videotaping the homeless. And that's why he had rights, because he wasn't homeless. He was videotaping the police violating the rights of homeless people. But you know, the police sell you a narrative. You don't bother to find out if it's true or not, but the fact is the police do that knowingly, willingly, and intentionally. There are no good people. Not one. And all these years of turning in these predators, I have to wait for somebody else to turn them in to get justice. But it's not justice, is it? When Waylon Alulatai assaulted me, he didn't get in any trouble. And because of that, he got to assault at least 6 other individuals that very same year after assaulting me. Because I was not heard about any of my fucking predators. They get to do whatever they want. Now, I get to hear homeless people out here bitching about their fucking problems all the goddamn time. Every one of these homeless people out here deserves it, because they will look the other way to it happening to someone else. You got to see there when I was in Hood River. And that woman, Jamie, who was half everybody's size. There were over 30 people at that place. They saw that man who was twice her size shove her. She tried to walk away from the man. He chased her down and socked her in the back of the head, and nobody gave a holy fuck. There was one person that spoke up, and that was me. One person. Out of everyone there, one person who was not a fucking coward. You guys talk about, oh, it's never okay to hit a woman. It's never okay to hit a woman. Now, out of all of the grown men there who were raised never to hit a woman under any circumstances, not only did that man shove Jamie and chase her down, he socked her in the back of the head like a bitch. Sorry, ma'am. I get kind of emotional sometimes. Natalie Bollinger should not have been shot in the head. But then again, Ted Bollinger should not be free after raping his own daughters. After renting out their vaginas to pay his drug debts. after getting them strung out on heroin and having them out there on Pearl Street in Boulder, Colorado, selling drugs for the SOB. The only good thing to come out of any of that, and it's only barely a good thing, Ted Bollinger will never rape his daughter ever again. Now we got more missing people out here, don't we? There were other people involved in the situation who are missing, ain't there? Now, I was able to find Rebecca Gross-Nickel-Foley when I got here. I still haven't been able to find David or Katie Saltzman. No luck. The nearest I was able to hear is apparently back in February, because they had their house burned down there in Beaverton. And they were having to live out of a car. Well, they got into a car accident. They didn't have the money to change the car over into their name, so the person they got the car from is having to pay for that, and also trying to get a hold of David and Katie to somehow pull some sort of recovery of that fundage. So I mean, she's still alive somewhere. I'm not sure when the last time was that I pulled out the tablet. Y'all know that I'm not any good with electronics. Katie Saltzman sent me her old iPad. I mean, these things are not cheap. And of course, she was apologizing because it was pink. She was apologizing because it's not brand new. Hell, I was glad to have it. I'm still glad to have it. I still don't know how to use it. Oh yeah, and I still get treated like she doesn't exist, like she's a figment of my imagination. And that's one of the things that pisses me off the most. Like, you'd think that it would be easy for somebody like Joanna Taylor Smith to say, yeah, I exist. We got her recorded on my channel. We got Derek Parrish on my channel. We got a lot of officers on my channel. Now, I get things that'll help keep me alive. And also to help me get the fuck away from people. I don't hate you, I just don't like you. You'll help a rapist get away. You'll help a murderer get away because getting laid or doing drugs is more important. Like, seriously, the 30th time that you told me that you love me instead of listening or helping, you showed you don't love me. You think that you should be able to appease somebody with the words, I love you. No, that's a manipulation tactic. I don't say I love you unless I love you. But if I love you, it's got nothing to do with your vagina. It's got nothing to do with your dick. It has to do with your humanity. But you can fuck that up. You can betray my trust. And when you do that, I should have the right to leave. If I leave and you pursue me, then I have every fucking right to defend myself to the best of my ability. And that includes telling everyone on the internet. That includes posting it on Facebook and YouTube. Because as a homeless and disabled male, I already know that the cops are not going to listen to me. Then we got these different groups that are all screwing each other over. Like BLM, MMIW, MMIP. How about we agree that a missing person is a missing person regardless of their skin color, and we should probably do the same thing for any missing person, whether they're black or white or even homeless. See, you want to use the numbers for black homeless people who are murdered by police and black disabled people who are murdered by police. But you don't want to admit that the majority of your statistics come from homeless. That's the thing that these people have in common the most, is homelessness. The ones that people care about, we get the exceptions to the rule. Getting people to give a shit about Frida Noses gun is fucking impossible. She disappeared on my birthday, October 18th of 2016. And she's been disappeared ever since. She disappeared from Spokane, Washington, the last day I ever saw Natalie, in Norfolk, Virginia. Actually, I guess it was technically Chesapeake, because by the time that, of course, Alicia Bollinger was the one driving my car. She was the one driving, not me. Now later on, they wanted to pretend like I stalked them because they were embarrassed over their drug use. Oh, I get that. I get why Kayla Trujillo dipped out, especially after the fucked up bullshit that she pulled over her drug dealer. One of her drug dealers. That'd be Blaine McCrelius. Another one of my predators. Between helping me to turn in the crimes against me and helping my predators, what did these people choose to do? They chose to help my predators to get away with it. Because between telling the truth and doing the drugs, what you care about is the drugs. You don't care any more about me than you do a turd in your fucking toilet. As long as you can snort your substances or drink your substances and get fucked up, it's fine, isn't it? As long as you're getting laid and busting a nut, who cares if other people are being victimized? You say you don't have time, you don't have time, you don't have time, but you can have a 4-hour fucking debate with people over Johnny Depp. When's the last time you and Johnny Depp hung out? You know me in person, you don't know Johnny Depp. You were actually there for my situation, and you can speak up about that and affect some actual change. But instead, you're going to argue with fucking morons, all of whom don't know Johnny Depp, about something none of you were there for. Between evidence and speculation, you're a fucking retard. You don't like that word? Well, guess what? People who are autistic, that's people like me. People who have Down syndrome, that's like the most intelligent man in the world right now. A man in Russia with Down syndrome. Someone with cerebral palsy. Like that dude I went to Job Corps with who had his arms like this and had his head to the side and dragged one of his foot behind him. You know what's wrong with that guy with cerebral palsy? He's got a problem with the connection between his brain and his body. That doesn't mean he's retarded. It means there's connection issues in his spinal column. connection issues with his vertebrae, with his nerves, with the stuff that controls the whole works. Yes, that is the brain, but however, it's the nerve clusters. It's the control of the body portion, not the critical and analytical thinking portion. You guys want to pretend that somebody in a wheelchair who can't speak, and they got their arms up like this, like they must be retarded and there must be a vegetable there. Was Stephen Hawking a vegetable? Or is there a human being up there? Behind the disability that you could see, it's one of the most intelligent men to ever live. But if you went into Starbucks and saw him in his wheelchair, with his nurse there with him, you would assume that he's a retard. And you love pushing that on disabled people. And it's wrong. I'm frustrated. I need help. But it needs to be actual help. If my sister actually cared about me, she'd have actually stopped and taken a look at the evidence. Instead of taking $1,800 to fuck around and play around and mess around. But then again, by that point in time, she'd been staring at tweaker cams for like 7 months. Now, as far as Ed goes, you know what? Everything that he says, I gotta pay attention to the fact that he's a diagnosed schizophrenic with delusions. He's a schizoaffective. So I gotta take everything that he says with a grain of salt. But my little sister's a fucking idiot. And obviously on fucking drugs. Even knowing he's a schizoaffective, she wanted to argue this with me. I said, Terry, he's schizoaffective. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not, Sean. And then, of course, when he showed up, what did he say? He said, I'm schizoaffective. Told you, Tara. But it wasn't about doing the right thing. It wasn't about being family. It was about getting my money and leaving with your fucking meth dealer. Kind of like when you told me that Nora is the one that hooked you up with the insurance place. But then Nora didn't know a goddamn thing about it, did she? People are dead because you're fucking stupid. You look up the name Demetrius Shankling. You know why he's dead? Because when I told on those officers, nobody cared. Do you know why Natalie Bollinger is dead? Because when I tried to tell on her and her fucking friends for the shit they were doing to me, nobody fucking cared. Just because you're a female does not give you the right to do horrible shit to men. The fucked up thing is, right now, a man can go to prison over a woman's opinion. Now, don't get me wrong, I have no doubts at all that Leslie Snell is scared shitless of me. I let her know that I was going to turn her in to Nebraska State Patrol, and then I actually called Nebraska State Patrol to turn her in. So what did she do? She utilized her position of power, played fucking victim, and pretended like I would kill her dog or hurt her kids. This is how female predators work. They are all taught to do this in the United States. If there is a woman that you know who does not do those things, thank your lucky stars, but also know that she is well aware she could be wicked and do those things. There is not a woman in the country who is not already aware of the 3 lies. If you don't get what you want from a man, destroy his life with the 3 lies. Congratulations, America, you're stupid.